level of the mind, of the where you set that intention as a decision maker, your body isn't like, oh yeah, that feels so clean, I love not having this toxic drug in my body. We need more of this guilt thing. We need more of this anxiety thing. What's going on? Be a better person. I try to not feel so stressed. I tried this, I tried that, it's not working. That identity of having identified with the sickness, an identity that's identified with a particular Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Whole Psychology Method video. I am Lida Sportel at lidashealing.com and founder of the Whole Wellness Method. And this video you're about to watch is a mini video of the actual full-length video, which means it's about a 10 to 15 minute long video of the actual full length that I've done. And the reason is that I want you to kind of try it out, get a little taste of it, and see if it speaks to you. See if it is concepts that you want to dive deeper into. See if it touches your heart. See if you resonate with it and if you feel inspired by these concepts. And if you do and you want more of these, then join my program of the psychology pillar that I have a series of these videos, and you can get a lot more on that. Why it is so hard to change, what happens on a physiological level when we are getting addicted to certain emotions. What is it that actually, biologically speaking, happens when our cells develop specific receptors to allow the molecules of certain emotions to attach to those receptors, and how is it that those receptors in our cells demand more and more and more of that emotion and become desensitized to that emotion that we've been addicted to. And why is it that if we've experienced guilt or suffering or anxiety, my last video was specifically talking about anxiety and guilt, but this could be applicable to any emotion that you've experienced for the majority of your life, whether that is anger or just loneliness or depression or hatred or whatever it is, or even positive emotions you might want to change, but your body actually doesn't want you to change because your body wants to feel its accustomed level of guilt because that is what you have trained it to do. So this is a powerful quote from his book saying, the body wants to feel its accustomed level of blank. It could be guilt, it could be anxiety, it could be fear, it could be anger, whatever emotion is that you've identified with the most or that you've memorized throughout your life. So your body wants you to feel this emotion because your body, like we've said before, your body has become the unconscious mind, and now it's controlling everything that you're thinking, everything that you're feeling, everything that you're doing. Every decision that you make is being controlled by that part of you. We are not acknowledging that in that moment, although we are setting a wonderful intention for ourselves, we are using the conscious mind to do that, and we're not 100% aware of the fact that we got some forces against us. And what I mean by that is we got the body that is not on board with your intention that you made on the level of your mind, okay, using your frontal brain. But it's on the level of the mind and the thought system that you are setting this intention. And as we talk about in the Course in Miracles, you go from the level of the body, the externals and the time, and you move up on the level of the mind, of the where you set that intention as a decision maker, as a quantum observer, and you say, I am going to tap into a new possibility for myself, a self that isn't as stressed, isn't as guilt-ridden, isn't as angry, isn't as fearful and takes care of my body and so on and so forth. So you set that intention from that level, but you are not thinking, not just you, we are all not aware of the fact that the body and the ego mind the ego mind is also on the level of the mind that we have identified with before until we decide to change. And the body on a physical, physiological, biological level are not on board with this. They're not on board with this change you want to make at all. In fact, they feel very threatened by this idea that you have. So the body has been addicted to the emotions just like we get addicted to drugs, just like we get addicted to sugar, just like we get addicted to caffeine. Same process of addiction on a cellular level. So now you have decided, you know what, I'm not gonna entertain this guilt-ridden thought pattern anymore. I'm going to be kinder to myself, and so on and so forth. So you lessen the amounts of guilt molecules of emotion, or anxiety molecules of emotion, or whatever molecules of emotion, and the body goes through withdrawal because it does not have the drug that it's used to. So you might be thinking, like, what, but can't it get used to the new emotion of peace, of happiness, of joy, of not feeling responsible for everything and everybody, of being calm? Well, it doesn't happen like that. It initially, for the first stages, just like with when you go through withdrawal, your body isn't like, oh yeah, that feels so clean. I love not having this toxic drug in my body. So your body doesn't do that. Initially it goes like, no, bring me more of this toxic thing you were giving me before. So the body doesn't have that intelligence looking out for your best interests necessarily in the context of what we're talking about right now. And the thing is, you're the one that has already trained your body to be used to something toxic, whether it's a toxic emotion or a toxic drug or a toxic food, for that matter. It's not gonna go like, oh, okay, this peace molecule of emotion, this calm molecule of emotion, I can use that, I like that. It's not gonna do that right away. Initially, it's gonna be like, this is boring, this doesn't feel right, I don't know what to do with this peace, I don't know what to do with this happiness. So as I'm saying this, I want you to think about if there are times in your life where you felt like that you don't know what to do with an emotion that is calmer, is peaceful, is joyful. I know from personal experience and also working with my clients that a lot of the times, because they're so not familiar with feelings of peace and calm and forgiveness and love, and they either are afraid something is going to happen and take everything away from them, or they just sabotage it on their own because it just feels so foreign. So it's kind of the same concept of the body doesn't know what to do with these new intentions, and these new intentions, how they translate into certain molecules, because we talked about how the thoughts and the neurotransmitters translate into actual molecules of emotion and hormones in our body. So the mind and the body are not working together because the body is still living in the past. And when we bring in the work of Course in Miracles in our discussion, we can also say it's not just the body that has the cells with the receptors that are addicted and desensitized to the emotion that you've experienced all your life, and that seeks more and more and more and more of this emotion. It's not just that. It is also on the level of the mind the other part of the mind, the ego mind. So we talked about the right mind, which is the one that tells you, it's time for you to unmemorize all these feelings that have kept you stuck all your life. That's the right mind. But then we get the ego mind that is also rooted into guilt and fear and punishment, and something bad is going to happen, and I don't deserve happiness. I deserve, whatever it is that your life has taught you deserve. So my point is, it's not just the body that's going to fight against what you're trying to do. It's also the ego mind that is going to have a big issue and feel very threatened by your efforts to change. So the cells produce certain neurochemicals, and through the spinal cord, they send it up to the brain to say, we need more of that specific molecule. So just like the nervous system works and the brain sends information down to the body, and the body sends input back to the brain, this is one of those situations where the body is sending feedback back to the brain through a very fast communication system, through the nervous system, the nerves, in a matter of seconds, he says, and says to the brain, we have to, we need more of this guilt thing. We need more of this anxiety thing. What's going on? So, interesting, right? Hormones, and it will say, produce more stress hormones, produce more fearful hormones, produce more angry hormones, produce more guilty hormones, whatever it is. So that's the slow track, because it goes through the bloodstream from the brain down to the body, but the effect is the same. We're producing more of those chemicals, of those molecules, of that emotion that we have memorized. So eventually we reach a point where it's like, what was the intention I had again? About not feeling as guilty or stressed or taking care of my body, or whatever it is. And it's like we completely forget. Then we obviously feel guilty that we forgot, so then it's more guilt, and now it's more weakness and powerlessness, because you see nothing is working. I try to change and it's not working. I try to start a new diet. I try to lose weight. I try to be a better person. I try to not feel so stressed. I tried this, I tried that. It's not working. So now it's more self-berating patterns going on. And eventually it's like, I just gonna stay to what's familiar to me, and at least I've survived all my life up until now that way. So why make things difficult and try to change? And then we give up. There's layers and layers of things, not to even talk about spiritual stuff and the Course in Miracles and all the layers there that we gotta work on. So it's a lot of different cycles that we go through, but any of those cycles is going to have resistance, is going to be met with a lot of don't change, don't move from the status quo of who you've been. Don't change who you've been. Your identity is who you are. Don't try to be somebody else. There's going to be a lot of that self-sabotage, and I see that a lot with chronically ill people, or people who have a lot of symptoms, physical symptoms, whether it's emotional, on the emotional level too, or the physical level, and it's really hard to break that habit of being that identity, of having identified with the sickness, an identity that's identified with a particular symptom or emotion. I really hope that you have found at least one thing from this video that has benefited you or that has inspired you in some way. And if you think of somebody else that might also benefit from this, please share it with them. I really hope that you found this video valuable and that it has inspired you in some way. And listen to your heart. If you feel that you want more of these and that you want the actual full-length videos and that you want more neuroscience and you want more of the psychology and the Course in Miracles and the Dr. Joe Dispenza work and all these different things that I provide you, then come and join me inside the Psychology Pillar program. And I hope to see you there, leaving you in whole wellness. Bye-bye.